be sharing with you today 11 things you need to know about 12th house people. And what does that mean? It means if you in your birth chart have planets within the 12th house, you are a 12th house person. And I'm going to be sharing and talking about the 12th house over the next year. I'm going to really be breaking it down. And in this video, I'm going to share a little intro before we get into it. But before we get started, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on notifications. Your engagement on my channel really helps it to grow. And the more that I grow, the more I'm able to reach other people in need of healing and in need of help from spirit. If you want to learn more about me, about my readings, about future events, you can visit soul2soul.ca. Okay, so a brief intro into the 12th house. As I said, over the next year, I'm just going to be breaking down the 12th house, giving an understanding of what it's like for each planet within the 12th house. I do have, I want to say credibility to talk about the 12th house. I am a 12th house person with a stellium in the 12th house. I have my sun, my moon, my Venus, and my Mercury all within the 12th house. I am a Libra rising, so that means that Virgo is the zodiac sign that governs the 12th house, which means that Mercury is the ruler over 12th house content. And this is my purpose. This is my life. This is what I've experienced. This is what I know. And this is what has been hidden from me for years. Astrology really does reflect your life experience. We don't like to say that it's causative, because there's free will, but it is reflective in the most phenomenal way. And the problem with the 12th house is we're feeling it. We're experiencing all the pain and suffering and addiction and darkness and spirituality and spiritual gifts that come from the 12th house, but we are blinded to it. The things within the 12th house are hidden. So it's really challenging for a 12th house person to live with these placements and the reflective energy of it within our daily lives. And this is why I really wanted to break it down and share it with you, because I struggled for a very long time trying to find people who I could relate with and who could somewhat understand what I was experiencing. And unless you're a 12th house person, you only really experience the energy of the 12th house with the orbiting planets as they're moving, and that when that celestial energy comes into your 12th house. And how you experience the 12th house is going to be different to other people because of depending on the the planetary ruler of that 12th house, which means what zodiac sign is within that 12th house. Is Mercury ruling it? Is a Virgo Mercury ruling it? And I can speak of that because a Virgo Mercury ruling the 12th house brings challenges, because Mercury Virgo is all about breaking things down and understanding it, but it's all about logic and reason. It has to be logical. And this 12th house is not logical. The 12th house is originally governed by Pisces, by Neptune, which is not logical. They are all over the place, so soulful, so just up, down, everywhere. Like a what do I call Pisces? My daughter is a Pisces with a stellium, so we're like oppositions, and I call her the sloppy genius, where I'm the organized genius. So it's very hard for Virgo Mercury to logically trust the soulful and the spiritual and the incredibly mutable, imaginative qualities, spiritual qualities of the 12th house. But I've managed to make my way through it, and here I am breaking it down for you over the next year. So this is the introductory video, and I really wanted to share the 11 things that I think are important for a person to know about the 12th house. Okay, so before we get started, I do want to give a disclaimer. Um, and I'm just gonna, I have my notes here, so to make sure I stay on track. Discovering the 12th house, and this is a disclaimer for those who have placements and live with the 12th house in discovery of it. Because remember, it's the house of hidden things. Um, and when we awaken to it, it can trigger um, aspects of self that you don't necessarily like about yourself. The 12th house is about self-sabotage. It's about self-undoing. It's the house that will either break you into a mental institution, into jail, into being hospitalized, um, or it's the house that can also transform that energy and that healing of that and being self-undoing, meaning going through the shadow work, going through the healing, going through what's necessary to heal from. And when you do that, you can reach a level of such incredible spiritual enlightenment. This is the house of blessings and curses, all together wrapped up in one little house. It is so challenging, but is so phenomenally rewarding at the same time. So it really is a balance of the energy. So when we awaken to the 12th house as a person who has placements there, planets there, it could easily have you fall into a depression, fall into a really dark space, because it will awaken and trigger unconscious emotions and memories and experiences that you have to deal with. The realization of the reflective energy from the celestial to the terrestrial in your life experience as a 12th house person can have you fall into a depressive state. And you want to be very careful of that, because you don't want to fall into a state where you get lost in that energy. We want to heal, right? That's the purpose of it. So in awareness of that is half the battle. Okay, so just be aware if you start to realize, oh my God, this is why I feel like this is why I experience this is why I'm always, and then that overwhelm can easily expand the self-sabotage that's going on within to spiral real fast downhill, like no other house would do. Maybe the 8th house, but not like the 12th house. And so it's very important to know that, and I have to give that disclaimer, that when you awaken, to use that time that you feel you're kind of spiraling into emotions that don't feel good, anything to do with self-sabotage, the talk, the feeling within that doesn't feel good, use it as a time to be the observer. Go through the playlist that I have, the healing process. Go through that playlist and really utilize that content. Go through the meditation playlist and really bring meditation into your life if you're a 12th house placement. Healing, healing, healing is number one in our lives. And as you heal, your life will change and get better. So that's my disclaimer for you before we move on. Very, very important. I fell into that trap of self-sabotage. Trust me, when I realized that this is why I feel like this, and this is, so I have to live with this for the rest of my life. Even though I've been through so much healing, it made me realize again, if you look at the through the healing process playlist, there's a video in there called 4 Influences of Your Healing, and the 12th house will make you really realize that your healing is not just from childhood. Your healing is not just from that traumatic experience that you had in your life that caused you trauma. That is 12th house. I'm sorry, but 12th house people have had shit lives. We've had such hard lives to live and get through, but there's a reason for it. The reason is that through your healing, you help other people, because the 12th house is the house of service. So with this hardship comes incredible spiritual blessings for you to bring forward your healing to another soul, because you've lived through it and you know the pain. You understand the pain. Okay, so this is my disclaimer. And before I ramble, let me move on. Okay, 11 things to know about the 12th house. Number 1. It's pretty much what I just said. It brings awareness to the pain and suffering that a 12th house person lives. There's another reason why I really wanted to highlight this. It's not only for 12th house people, but it's for those people who don't have 12th house placements. The awareness to the suffering a person gives. Optimism does not work for a 12th house person, because a person who is living with the reflective energy of a 12th house dealings and the 12th house experiences, painful experiences, their suffering is on such a deep inward experience that it's beyond what optimism can help. What is needed is awareness of the pain, and an awareness that you may not be able to understand or relate to that person's pain. It's also an awareness that that pain that is within a 12th house person oftentimes is blinded by everybody else, meaning you don't even realize the pain that a person is going through that's a 12th house person, because from the outside, you don't see it. And the reason for that is because the 12th house is right above the first house. And so there's an aversion from the 12th house to the first house. And what that means is, when it's an aversion, is that there's a blind spot. The first house, which is you physically, which is how people see you physically, how people see you in your physical form and know you. It's the first immediate contact of that someone sees you and how they judges you, and how, the physical ideal or image of you. That's your rising sign. So a person is seeing that, just like, for an example, myself, I'm a Libra rising. So people see me as a Libra rising. They don't see all the inner pain and suffering that I go through. You're not seeing it in this video. You might be like, oh, she looks so positive. And yes, I can have great days. Yes, I can sit here and talk positive because I've been through the pain. But if you really were to sit there and to see me when I'm in my own space, when I'm feeling the 12th house pain within, and I go into self-sabotage mode, I'm messy. I'm very messy, and I can sit here and be transparent and honest with you because that's my life. That's what I experience. But I got to put on my pretty smile, because I realize that my crap that I have to feel and deal with within is not for other people to see, because I'm a Libra rising. I'm all about balance. I'm all about harmony. I want it to be social, and I want it to be good, and I want everybody to be okay, and I want it to be harmonized. So I'm not going to put my inner baggage out to the world. But it's there, and it's real. And so number one is about bringing awareness to that, because of the blindness within the aversion, that other people aren't seeing a 12th house person's pain, and a 12th house person isn't even seeing their own pain. They're not really connecting it. They're aware of it because they live through it every day. But there's a confusion, there can be a confusion depending on what zodiac sign is within that house and the planet that rules it. But there can be a real confusion as to where it really stems from. And the 12th house is a karmic house, so it can stem from past lives. And it can stem from ancestral lineage. And it can stem from childhood trauma and experiential trauma in your life. Okay? And so moving on to number two is understanding that their pain is often forgotten, unseen, and misunderstood. And again, this is because of the blind spots, because people aren't seeing it, but it's real and it's there. The 12th house is about mental health. It's the challenge of mental health, whereas the 6th house is about physical health and the challenges and illnesses of the physical health. So we have the mental health and we have the physical house. And with mental health, it's inward, so we're not seeing a person's inward pain. And I think that is a lot of the problems with mental health, is it's masked with medication, and it's misunderstood because it's not so visually in front of a person's eyes, whereas physical pain is. So physical pain can be sympathized. it can be related to what, because it's visual, because you're seeing somebody in their physical pain. But with mental health, you're not visually seeing it. It's within a person. And sometimes it's so deep within a person and hidden from blind sight within you that it gets misunderstood. And that's very important to know about a person who lives with 12th house placements. And for understanding that energy when you're experiencing the 12th house in transits and how you feel in that period of time that Mars might be going through your 12th house, or Mercury might be going through your 12th house, where Mercury's not in a comfortable place, depending on what zodiac signs within your 12th house. There's many factors, right? But it's very important to understand. Number 3 is it's not about being objective and living with optimism. Again, I think I can go too fast, too far, too fast. And I'm not gonna go on about why, but I think I really, covered this, is that optimism and being objective does not work for 12th house people. They're gonna tell you to go fuck yourself with your optimism. It's really frustrating, because it really is a house of suffering and deep inner suffering that is beyond the capacity for anyone to understand if they do not have 12th house placements, even with the transits that go by. I mean, you'll experience a little bit, but the suffering that happens in the 12th house on a day-to-day basis within is not healed with optimism. It's healed with recognition and allowing the subconscious to come up. It is the house of the collective unconscious. So we need to allow the unconscious and the subconscious to come up, allow the pain to rise, observe it, go through the healing work, go through the shadow work. And when you come out of that, you come out transformed and renewed to be in service of others. That's what it's about. Number 4, healing and facing the hardship of the 12th house is literally the only way to survive the 12th house, is how I want to put it. The 12th house, like I said, governs jails, mental institutions, hospitals, being hospitalized. And so it's also the house of spirituality, meaning spiritual gifts. It is the house of the collective unconscious, meaning it is so deeply connected with spirit, with the spiritual world. It is so deeply connected that a person who's faced so much trauma that is unhealed, unaware of, that ends up being convicted, hospitalized, medicated, suicide, all of that is under the 12th house. And if you are not healing in this house, that's the direction you're going to end up. So the only way to get out of the 12th house and survive that 12th house within yourself, to live a comfortable life and to live a life that is of happiness, of contentment, of reaching to that place of inner peace, of joy, is to go through the process of healing, is to recognize that the pain that you've been through in your life has a purpose and that it wasn't just shit. It wasn't just what the fuck, why? And for those of you who are unaware of who I am a 12th house stellium. I am also, which is a dark house. I am also have Mars in my first house. So I swear. And this is how it is. And I'm here to be raw. I'm here to be real and authentic. And I am also very respectful, and I also work with the most highest ethics, but I love to swear. So if you don't like that, you're free to leave my channel. But it is what it is. And I just had to say that because disclaimer again. But yeah, it's very important to understand that that is the only way through the 12th house. And if you don't heal, you're going to continue to face hardships in the aspects of whatever planets you have within your house. It could just be a small part of your life. It could be a massive part of your life. It all depends on whether or not you have a stellium there. It depends on the aspects that is making from your 12th house to the other areas of your chart. There's so many intricate details that have to be recognized and acknowledged in it, but this is just an overview of the 12th house. Okay, moving on to number 5. The best way to help a 12th house person is just to simply check on them. Ask them how they're doing. And when they talk about their pain, not to minimize it, not to try to relate to it, not to judge it or criticize it. Just listen. It's like shut up and listen. And even acknowledge the fact that you don't understand what they're going through. But I could be an ear for you to just listen. And that really is what unconditional love is. Unconditional love is being at a place where you can remove yourself from the situation with somebody else who's in pain and just be there as a listening ear with no judgment, no criticism, no desire to be like, well, I don't understand how she feels. Maybe it's because maybe I can, I think I have a situation where I think I can relate to that. No, none of that. No reflective situation or thoughts of how this makes you feel in trying to relate, or no minimizing, thinking, well, I don't see anything wrong with you, so maybe it's not that bad. Like, really, it's just life. Suck it up. So the best way, again, is to just check on them and ask them if they're okay and just listen with nothing else. This is what we should be doing for all people, but especially 12th house people, because 12th house people, I mean, depending on the placements, I mean, if you've got Pluto in your 12th house, you might just piss somebody off and they could be explosive and not realize it being explosive. Or Mars, which is where I'm going to be starting. The starting point as I dive down deep into the 12th house. But yeah, very, very important to just simply check on it and keep it easy, keep it simple. We don't want to complicate things for a 12th house person because they're already feeling a deep complexity. Complexity. Is that a word? I'm tongue twister today with the inner pain that they're going through. Number 6. Even if they appear strong, they're facing a enormous inner pain. And it's masked. It's masked because of the point of aversion. It's masked without even realizing that it's masked. It's masked because they don't even realize a lot of it because it's hidden content. A person with a planet in the 12th house doesn't even understand those qualities. That they're kind of confused about that themselves in regards to that planet. If it's the sun, you're confused about what am I supposed to, like, your consciousness. It's just it's of who you are. Your spirit, your soul is a little bit confused. If your moon's there, you're not really understanding your emotions. They might be out of control. You're not really understanding it. If it's your heart, it may be broken. 12th house Venus is broken. And I laugh just because I live with it. And you know, you have to laugh when you live with 12th house placements because you got to find some light because it's a dark place. Number 7, they know that 12th house people are completely blinded to it. Themselves. Again, I'm jumping ahead. My Mars and my Mercury are like this. My Mercury is in the 12th house and my Mars is in the 1st house, right conjunct it. So that's why my words just, I get ahead of myself. I overtalk. That's why I have notes to slow myself down. Okay, number 8, never judge or dismiss the pain and experiences of a 12th house person. Here's why. Because if somebody has not done the healing that is has really personal planets in the 12th house, like I would say like Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars, all of those combined, more so Sun, Moon, the luminaries, you know, the emotions, the heart, Venus, and Mercury because it's the mind. If A person has those planets in the 12th house, they are unaware of it, you're unaware of it, and they are constantly dismissed, they are constantly judged, they are constantly criticized. That is what's going to turn somebody to the point of suicide. And I'm sorry, we're talking about 12th house content, so I've got to be real, I got to be raw, I'm going to be transparent. And the 12th house is deep, it is of suicide. um I'm going to take a moment, and I'm going to keep this recording because you have to understand the 12th house. I'm feeling a lot. Please know um, that number 9 is to simply offer a person, I mean, we should be doing this for everybody, but the 12th house has so much pain and it's so blinded that this is such an important thing to talk about. And it's so important to just simply offer love, compassion, understanding, an ear. Never dismiss someone's pain as minute as you might think it is for them, because we never fully understand what's going on within because we're blinded to it. We're not seeing it. It's behind the scenes. And when somebody is in the 12th house who has so much pain that they haven't worked through, that they haven't done the healing for, who is suicidal, it could take just that one dismissal to set them over the edge. And so it's very important to understand that. Number 10 is you don't need to understand. And this goes for everybody in life and everybody's life path. We don't need to understand everybody so much. We all are so unique in our journey. We all have our own specific life paths. If you look at the chart of every single person on this earth, there are no two charts alike. There's commonalities, there's similarities, but there are no two charts alike. I know people with the exact same birthday, the exact same year, and because their time of birth is not the same, their charts are different. Their experiences are completely different. I know twins who have the identical charts, but because of the time of birth being a couple minutes ahead and behind, their experiences are different. So please understand that we don't need to understand anybody's experience. We don't need to relate to anyone's experience. All we need to do is give a lending ear. We need to listen. We need to present more love and compassion, and just being present for someone who may need someone to just be present with them, even if they don't talk, even if they just shed a tear, even if they just cry. You still don't have to say anything. You could just be present, and just being there in the physical energy of support, just feeling love for that person is so powerful in that by itself. So that's some good stuff right there. Got me in tears here. You got me. You experienced 12th house there for a second. Okay, where am I? Number 11. This is the last one. And it's simple. I think I've been through it all. You will never understand a 12th house person unless you have 12th house placements. And I'd also like to say that nobody really understands anybody's chart unless you have that chart. I know people who have a stellium in the 6th house where I have no planets. And I don't understand the physical pain that some of these people I know are going through. because I don't live that life. I live 12th house, reflective 12th house. I don't know what, I only know the 6th house if I've got planets going through there in transit. So I am not going to sit here and try to relate or try to really break myself trying to understand what a 12th house person or a 6th house or a 9th house person or a 5th house person or any other house is living and experiencing. The problem with the 12th house is it's detrimental to the 12th house person if they are dismissed, if they are judged and criticized over and over again. It's really detrimental, and it could lead them into the dark side of the 12th house, and we don't want that for 12th house people, because 12th house people are needed of service. They're needed to help other people in pain. They're needed. 12th house is the house of service. So we want to support people in their healing journey to rise up so they can be a voice for other people who can similarly understand their experience. Because I know that what brought me comfort as a 12th house person is connecting with other people who had 12th house placements by learning about the 12th house. And that's why I'm going to be giving content over the next year about each planet in the 12th house, what their downfalls are, how to master that planet in the 12th house, what the spiritual gifts are, what does the zodiac sign that is governs that house, and the planet that rules that house of the zodiac, what that might feel like in connection to Pisces Neptune energy that naturally rules the 12th house. Right? So I'm going to be sharing this content over the next year. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to sit here and listen to me about the 11 things that I think are very, very important about 12th house people. And until next time, ciao.